I'm Nikki Frisz. I'm our Senior Director of Marketing here at Dollar Shave Club. Thanks for having me. Excited to chat.
So there's an exciting campaign going on right now, and I just wanted to dive right into it. Tell us what's happening and where it all came from.
Yeah, absolutely. So really the core of this campaign and the idea was how do we kind of get back to that disruptive roots and really founding of what made Dollar Shave Club and its original viral video great. And one of the great things about that video was just the calling out of no BS and against big corporations. And so especially in a time and age where you're seeing so many companies out there really focus on celebrity or big names and big corporations, we wanted to take the opposite approach as we launched our new and improved and what we're calling our best razor ever. And so instead of hiring an overproduced, ad agency or celebrity, we're really getting back to the core, and we turned the entire control over to our members and launched Dollar Shave Club's first, what we're calling outhouse ad agency named Order of the Blades. So the campaign itself features 23 real guys. You could not have cast a more great group of guys if you tried, let me tell you, and a more passionate group at that. And we flew them out for a fun weekend where they literally created the entire campaign for this. They told us what they thought of our new razor. How would they describe it? They wrote billboards, they wrote jingles. And again, it's all just getting back to how do we flip the switch and get back to kind of that root of what we started for as a brand. So excited to seeing it come to life.
So there's a few things I heard there. One is going back to the disruptive brand DNA. And I feel like that has been probably a challenge since being acquired by one of the largest CPG brands. I mean, is that something that's been an ongoing thing? Like, hey, we're owned by a large company.
Yes.
How do we stay disruptive within that framework?
Totally. We were actually acquired, if you will, by Nexus Capital, so our investment partner. So Unilever still has a minority share, but we were able to take a step away from that. But exactly like you said, it's been a challenge of how do you go from disruptive viral video, what started as a subscription brand, and even the original ad campaign was made with $5,000 that I don't think you can even do anymore. And so how do we get back to the spirit that was that in the current day and age that we have? And it's hard, it's a different category, a different digital time as well too. So it has been an ongoing challenge, I'd say, for the past 2 years or so, but something that's been really core of a focus for us.
The other trend that I'm seeing is giving more of that brand control to the customers. You just went for it. You took customers and brought them out. I wish I could just be a fly on the wall seeing this.
Trust me, you do. It was nothing like we could have expected.
I'm imagining like a crazy men's retreat.
Yeah, I mean, we had Fruit Ninja stars galore, remote control cars. So, if we were going to do this, we had to do it in the true way that felt on brand to us. It wasn't going to be to a luxury resort or anything. It's real guys having fun, and what guy doesn't want to just swipe at ninja swords and cut big fruit all day? I mean, even I'm not a guy, but I would love to do that. So it was done in a really fun way, and yeah, it's fun.
Are you seeing that trend? I guess is like as UGC creators basically have a two-way conversation with brands now, and you just invited them out to direct, or I don't know what it ended up being, but like directing your commercials per se.
We're seeing a couple trends. I'd say for us, the core is authenticity. Mm-hmm. I think both from this campaign and what we stand for as a brand, you'll see that even just in any of our content is we don't want it to feel overforced. Consumers are smart nowadays. They can see through any of that BS. And when they're overly being sold something, we tend to lead with humor and authenticity in a lot of the things that we're doing. And I think, with this campaign, we had no idea what we were going to get. The guys that signed up for this, the 23 members, they literally got on a flight to the middle of nowhere and did not know what they were signing up for, what was included or anything. But they were so up for the adventure. And I think that's just the spirit of us as a brand, and you're able to see that through kind of the videos and the content that we have coming out as well too.
What makes this campaign really one of the biggest launches to date?
Yeah, part of it is it's all to help launch what we're calling our best razor ever. So we've taken for about 2 years or so now, been working on how do we listen to our members and what improvements do we need to make in order to kind of improve our product performance. So we have an improved razor, which has longer lasting blades, an improved juicy lube strip, if you will. So part of it is the scale of what we are launching is really all through the product, all the way to the campaign, very consumer led. We heard that we had an improvement opportunity with our product. So we listened, we did something about that. And who better to tell us how to launch it better than the members that told us that themselves?
Did you collect feedback before deciding to do this?
Yes, there's multiple rounds of feedback. The members that were at the retreat, the first time they did try the product was at the retreat itself, though. But we got multiple feedbacks from other members and people along the way. Truly unknown. They showed up there and we had no idea what they were going to say about it.
What would be the backup plan if they didn't like it?
I don't know, but thank God we don't have to find out, right?
I mean, I think that there are a lot of brands like taking this approach, the irreverent kind of disruptive approach. How do you feel from the marketing side? Has that always been an advantage as you scale to reach new audiences? Because there's like comedy and it kind of hooks people in, or is there somewhat of a ceiling when it comes to like people wanting to be, buying and associating with a brand that?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's an advantage because, like we were saying, consumers can see through BS right now, right? They don't want to be overly sold something. So the fact that we are a more irreverent, comedy-driven brand allows us, I think, to connect with consumers in a different way and to grab their attention in a different way. I think the struggle comes from how do you do that while pushing the boundaries appropriately, but also, still selling your product too. You can't just sell jokes at the end of the day. We do need to see a revenue impact from some of the things. So I think finding that right balance, as well as the right things that we do talk about with our humor, I think has been key for us over this past year since kind of the Unilever leave and everything that we've really been focusing on. And I think this is the start of where you're really going to start seeing that even more in the marketplace.
Do you know kind of what the split is between what channels are the biggest for you?
Yeah, we're omni, so D2C still remains our biggest channel, but we have a very healthy retail business: Walmart, Target, Kroger, HEB, lots of other military channels and things like that, as well as Amazon. We are seeing a lot of growth, so I think that's kind of the fun part also, and the challenge at the same time for us is we were started as a subscription program and a subscription brand. You can find us anywhere now, and so continuing to remind people that we're available where they shop and not just online is a continual, goal of ours as a business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've been talking a lot about that at RetailWire. There's this hesitancy for some D2C brands to go into these new channels, but there is something to be said about just being everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's also interesting because the consumer shopping pattern isn't linear, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even if you are an online business, you're not going to find people only by being online.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take it for myself as a consumer. Sometimes I'll see a brand on social media, the ad, the Instagram, TikTok, whatever will capture my attention, but that doesn't mean I'm buying it right away. But then I go in store and I see it and, oh, I remember seeing that, or this person made a video that influenced me. Then I want to try it there because I can get one stick, one pouch, one razor to try it. Then maybe I go back to online and I subscribe. So I don't think it's a one-to-one channel. And I think, like you were saying, there's such a benefit in being truly omni-channel and available where people are.
Yeah, I was listening to another podcast of a brand who just they were surprised as they went viral on TikTok. They could watch their Amazon sales grow, and they didn't even link it. There was no link or anything. It was just that awareness, and then people would go to whatever app is the one that's most convenient for them.
Yep, exactly. Sometimes people don't want to buy something and enter a subscription or information online. Sometimes it's easier to go to Amazon or just add it in your Walmart order to pick up. So I agree.
Do you want to tell us more about the college sports themes, that kind of thing? Yeah,
absolutely. So part of that, listening to our consumer and kind of getting back to, what's of interest to them. We've learned we have a really big affinity in sports. Shocking, being a male-driven business. And it's been a really fun project to work on. This is something that came to life in 6 months from idea to launch as a business. So we've launched over 12 different college handles across different schools this year, and they're available at Walmart, primarily on .com as well. We're seeing some really good growth, and I think it's a really great way to test, consumer passion points in a category that traditionally, a razor is not that exciting.
Yeah.
How do you sell people with them? You can have a great brand, you can get them through humor, being a good product, but how do you tug on those different passion points to bring excitement to a category as well as a younger consumer is a really big part of our focus. So the 12 handles that are out there now are the first of our college launches. We're also hitting the road and kind of some different tailgate tours and experiential moments at a lot of those different stops there, and continuing to explore what it looks like for next year too.
Are there other, besides college sports, are there other custom handles and things that you could tell us about?
Not that I can tell you about, but the good thing is we do make all of our razors in-house, so it does give us a lot of flexibility to be able to not only quickly make product, but do a lot of fun customization. And again, a razor in the boring category, how do we bring that excitement and differentiation, especially now that we have an improved core product, right? We have stronger blades, they last longer, juicier loop strips. So how do you do that with a handle to bring that excitement? So a lot more coming next year, I'll say.
I'm wondering if there's more focus placed on retention than in a typical brand that doesn't have subscription.
Yeah, I'd say that is a big focus of ours. It's great we'll be able to get them in through this better product, but then you got to keep them, right? You can only spend so much to acquire them, and then if you lose them. So definitely an increased focus on retention over the next few years.
Does it seem to catch with a certain age group, or is there a pretty good spread between all age demographics?
Yeah, we extremely over-index with, to no surprise, I would say, Gen Z or millennials.
Yeah.
And so knowing that, I'd say, and especially with what we're doing with some of these different college handles or different fun programs and approaches, it's really leaning into what would a younger consumer want and what would kind of capture their interest to want to purchase from a brand like this. So I think the college handles are a great example of that. What kind of kid in college wouldn't want that, or an alumni, for example. So thinking through what are those different ways that we can continue to have an offering and something that's exciting for that younger consumer, and content, right? Making sure that our content is aimed to that. We're on the right channels that they watch. It's striking the right tone, the right brand, the right editing even. Our team spends a lot of time making sure our editing is geared towards the audience that we're trying to get to.
With channels, do you mean social channels, or do you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. And there's so many different types of storytelling happening on social media now.
Yeah.
The Order of the Blades, did that start as an agency inside the company, and then, you're just kind of giving it a brand on its own?
Yeah, no, so it wasn't anything internal ever. So we partnered with Humanaut as our production arms, great agency out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. So they served kind of as the production component of this. But this was always our full outhouse agency name. They was never something internal, and, it will always continue to be our outhouse agency that we call on if we need, bounce ideas off, if we need creative ideas, things like that. So the members that were there continue to provide input on the launch, provide reviews of the campaign, graphics, videos, and everything too. So fully at the seat of the consumers for this.
Very cool. Is there a place I can watch any of this content?
Yeah, all on our YouTube right now, so you can check it out there. The social is rolling out this week and next week as we speak, and then we'll be on streaming and different services, hopefully coming to your TV very soon, so you can continue to watch.
Streaming? Which kind of streaming?
Mostly CTV or different ones, so
okay.
Not traditional linear.
Cool. Well, I'm excited. Thank you for sharing all this background, and it's an exciting category.
We're trying to bring excitement. It's a razor at the end of the day. We're not selling anything over the top or crazy, but we're trying to bring as much excitement as we can, and hopefully everyone can see that coming out.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your time, and thanks for joining us here on RetailWire.
Thanks for having me.